What was Daemon Targaryen holding in his hand moments before his fiery plunge above the god's eye? A single fleeting glimpse of a mysterious object has sparked a wildfire of speculation among House of the Dragon fans, and today we're diving headfirst into this enigma that could unlock secrets of the Targaryen dynasty and reshape the entire Game of Thrones universe. If you live for dragons, betrayals, and theories that make your mind race, you're in for a treat. Before we unravel this mystery, do one thing for me. Hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you never miss a deep dive into Westeros. This is going to be a wild ride, so let's get started with the mysterious object in Daemon's hand. Before he died, what does it mean? Imagine the scene. Storm clouds churn above the god's eye, lightning cracks, and Daemon Targaryen, the rogue prince, grips the reins of Caraxes as he charges toward Aemond and Vhagar in a clash that will echo through history. But just before the dragons collide, the camera lingers on Daemon's hand, clutching something small, glinting, and utterly cryptic. Was it a weapon, a talisman, a relic of ancient Valyria, or something far more sinister, tied to the magic that haunts Westeros? This moment, barely a second long, has sent fans into a frenzy, combing through fire and blood, scouring X-posts, and debating what this object could mean for the Dance of the Dragons and beyond. Today, we're going to dissect every possibility, from the mundane to the magical, and explore how this tiny detail could change everything we thought we knew about House of the Dragon. Let's start with Daemon himself, because to understand the object, we need to understand the man. Daemon Targaryen, portrayed with electrifying intensity by Matt Smith, is the heart of House of the Dragon's chaos. He's a warrior, a dragon rider, a schemer, and a man who dances on the edge of heroism and villainy. As Rhaenyra's husband and fiercest ally, he's driven by love, ambition, and a restless hunger for power. By the time we reach the battle above the god's eye, Daemon is at his peak, a legend facing his ultimate test. But why is he holding this mysterious object? And why does the show make a point of showing it? In the series where every detail matters, from dragon eggs to whispered prophecies, this moment feels deliberate, a puzzle piece begging to be solved. So, what could the object be? Let's start with the most straightforward possibilities. Could it be a weapon? Daemon is no stranger to combat, wielding his Valyrian steel sword, Dark Sister, with deadly precision. Maybe the object is a dagger, a last-ditch tool for the close-quarters fight with Aemond. But a dagger seems too ordinary for such a dramatic moment. Daemon's already armed to the teeth, and a simple blade wouldn't warrant the cameras a focus. Perhaps it's a piece of jewelry, like a ring or amulet symbolizing his bond with Rhaenyra. A ring could carry emotional weight, a reminder of his queen as he faces death. Yet, jewelry feels too sentimental for a man like Daemon, whose love for Rhaenyra is fierce, but rarely expressed through tokens. Now let's get more speculative. What if the object is a relic of House Targaryen's past? The Targaryens hail from old Valyria, a civilization steeped in fire, blood, and arcane secrets. Could Daemon be holding a fragment of Valyrian steel, a dragon-binding artifact, or even a piece of obsidian dragon glass linked to their ancient ritual? Dragon glass is a big deal in Game of Thrones, used to fight White Walkers, and its presence here could hint at a deeper connection between the Dance of the Dragons and the Long Night. Imagine Daemon clutching a shard of dragon glass, not just as a weapon, but as a symbol of a forgotten prophecy, tying his fate to the Song of Ice and Fire that Aegon the Conqueror dreamed of centuries ago. But what if the object is something even stranger? The God's Eye is no ordinary lake. It's a place of ancient magic, home to the Isle of Faces and the Green Men, mysterious figures tied to the children of the forest and the old gods. Could Daemon's object be a gift from these enigmatic beings? Maybe it's a weirwood carved talisman, a rune stone, or a vial of some magical substance meant to protect him or unleash a hidden power. This would explain why the show highlights it. Daemon, knowingly or not, might be carrying a key to Westeros's mystical destiny. The idea of magic in Daemon's hand opens up wild possibilities, from surviving the fall to influencing events far beyond the Dance of the Dragons. Let's dive into the context of the scene. The battle above the God's Eye is the climax of Daemon's arc, a showdown with his nephew Aemond, the one-eyed prince riding Vagar. Fire and Blood describes it as a suicidal charge, with Daemon leaping from Caraxes to strike Aemond, both plunging into the lake below. No bodies are found, only rumors, which fuel speculation that Daemon, or even Aemond, might have survived. The object in Daemon's hand could be the clue that unlocks this mystery. If it's a magical artifact, maybe it saves him, letting him swim ashore or teleport to safety. If it's a message or token, maybe he's trying to pass it to someone before he falls. The ambiguity of Fire and Blood, written by the unreliable Archmeister Gildane, gives the showroom to play with these ideas, and House of the Dragon loves its surprises. Why does this object matter? For one, it could redefine Daemon's role in the Dance of the Dragons. If he's holding a magical artifact, he might be more than a warrior. He could be a chosen figure in a larger cosmic game. Aegon's dream, the prophecy of the White Walkers, is a recurring theme in House of the Dragon. Maybe the object is tied to this vision, passed down through Targaryen kings and queens, and Daemon's final act is to protect it. This would make his death a sacrifice, not a defeat, elevating him to a mythic status. Alternatively, if the object is a weapon or tool, it could mean Daemon planned to survive, using it to outsmart Aemond and escape the crash. Either way, this tiny detail could shift how we see his entire arc. Let's explore some specific theories about the object's identity. Theory 1. It's a Valyrian blood magic relic. The Targaryens' ancestors used blood magic to bind dragons and forge their empire. Maybe Daemon's object is a small, rune-covered stone or amulet, imbued with spells to control Caraxes or protect himself. This would fit his daring plan to face Vagar, a dragon far larger than Caraxes. If the relic enhances his dragon riding or shields him from harm, it could explain why he's so confident charging into battle. Plus, blood magic ties into the darker side of House Targaryen, hinting at the madness that later consumes rulers. Like Aerys 2. Theory 2. It's a message for Rhaenyra. Daemon's love for his wife and queen is the core of his character, even when their relationship frays. What if the object is a sealed scroll, a ring, or a tiny dragon-shaped pendant, meant to reach Rhaenyra if he dies? This would add a heartbreaking layer to the scene. Daemon, knowing he might not survive, clutches a final token of his devotion. The object could contain a strategic plan, a confession, or even a warning about betrayals within the Black faction. If it's meant for Rhaenyra, it could alter her decisions after the battle, potentially saving or dooming her cause. Theory 3. It's a prophetic artifact linked to the old gods. The God's Eye's mystical aura makes this one intriguing. Maybe Daemon, during his time at Harrenhal, received a vision in the Weirwood Grove, guided by the old gods, or even Bran Stark warging from the future. The object, a carved bone, a glowing gem, or a piece of weirwood, could be a physical manifestation of that vision, meant to guide him or warn of the White Walkers. This would connect House of the Dragon to Game of Thrones in a mind-blowing way, suggesting Daemon's role in the Song of Ice and Fire is far bigger than we thought. Theory 4. It's a dragon egg. This is a wild one, but hear me out. Dragon. Eggs are rare, precious, and deeply symbolic for the Targaryens. What if Daemon, knowing the war is decimating their dragons, is carrying an egg to protect it from falling into green hands? The egg could belong to Caraxes, Morning, Rhaenyra's dragon, or even one of Daenerys's future eggs. If Daemon survives the fall, He might hide the egg, ensuring the Targaryen legacy endures. This would create a direct link to Game of Thrones, where Daenerys' eggs become the key to her rise. The object's small size might not match a typical egg, but maybe it's a fragment or a decoy meant to mislead Aemond. Each theory has massive implications. If it's a blood magic relic, Daemon might be dabbling in forces that could corrupt him, setting the stage for a darker arc. If it's a message, it could change Rhaenyra's fate, either uniting the Blacks or deepening her paranoia. If it's prophetic, Daemon becomes a bridge between the Dance of the Long Night and the Dance of the Dragons, tying the two series together. And if it's a dragon egg, it ensures the Targaryen bloodline's power survives, altering the dynasty's decline. But to understand the full impact, we need to look at how this object affects the key players in House of the Dragon. First, Rhaenyra. If the object is meant for her, its delivery or loss could shape her war. A message might give her the confidence to press her claim, securing allies like Corlys Velaryon or Cregan Stark. A magical artifact could protect her dragon, Syrax, in battle, tipping key fights. But if the object never reaches her, Rhaenyra's grief over Daemon's death might blind her to its significance, leading to the Black's downfall. Daemon's survival, with the object in hand, would be even more transformative. He could return to Dragonstone, presenting Rhaenyra with a relic or egg that galvanizes their cause, or use a prophetic artifact to steer her toward a destiny beyond the throne. What about Aemond? The object could be a weapon meant to kill him, like a dragonglass shard or a cursed blade. If Daemon survives and Aemond doesn't, the object might be the key to his victory. But if Aemond survives too, he might seize the object, using its empower for the Greens. Imagine Aemond wielding a Valyrian artifact to control Vhagar, or a prophetic relic to claim he's the chosen Targaryen. The rivalry between Daemon and Aemond, already a fan favorite dynamic, would explode into a new layer of intrigue, with the object as the center of their deadly game. The broader Dance of the Dragons could shift dramatically. A magical artifact might give the Blacks an edge, letting them win battles like the Gullet or the fall of King's Landing. A dragon egg could mean more dragons for Rhaenyra's faction, prolonging their dominance. But power comes at a cost. If the object is tied to blood magic, it could unleash chaos, alienating allies or turning the small folk against the Targaryens. If it's prophetic, it might distract Daemon from the war, pulling him toward a mystical path that saves Westeros, but dooms his family. The war's outcome, whether the Blacks win, the Greens fall, or both sides burn, hinges on what Daemon's holding. Now, let's connect this to Game of Thrones. If the object is a dragon glass or a piece of a dragon egg, it could be a direct link to Daenerys' journey. Maybe Daemon hides it in Essos, where it eventually reaches Daenerys' mother, Illyrio Mopatis' wife, or the Red Priests. If it's a prophetic artifact, it might be passed down through Targaryen kings, influencing Rhaegar's obsession with prophecy or Aerys' madness. A stronger Targaryen dynasty, thanks to Daemon's survival or the object's power, could prevent Robert's rebellion, meaning no War of the Five Kings, no Cersei's reign, and a Westeros better prepared for the White Walkers. The object could be the butterfly effect that saves or destroys the Seven Kingdoms. Halfway through, let's pause for a second. If your head's spinning with these theories, drop a comment and tell me. What do you think the object is? A weapon, a relic, an egg, or something else entirely? And if you're loving this deep dive, please hit that subscribe button and join our Westeros-obsessed community. We're only halfway, and the mysteries are just getting juicier. Let's address the skeptics. Why might this object not be a big deal? Maybe it's just a stylistic choice, a random prop like a coin or a buckle, meant to add drama to Daemon's final moment. House of the Dragon is packed with visual flair, and not every detail is a plot point. A simple object could be a red herring teasing fans without payoff. Plus, Fire and Blood doesn't mention any object, so it might be a show-only addition, not a canon mystery. And if Daemon's really about to die, why bother clutching something at all? His focus is Aemond, not a trinket, so the object might be irrelevant to his plan. But here's why those doubts don't hold up. House of Thrones and Game of the Dragon thrive on subtle clues. The showrunners, Ryan Condal and George R.R. Martin, love planting seeds that bloom seasons later. Think of Viserys' dagger in Game of Thrones or the cat's paw's blade in House of the Dragon. The camera's focus on Daemon's hand isn't random, it's a deliberate choice in a series where every frame is scrutinized. Fire and Blood's silence doesn't rule it out. Its unreliable narrators miss plenty, and the show often adds new layers to the book. As for Daemon's mindset, he's a strategist, always thinking 3 steps ahead. Clutching an object, even in his final moment, suggests he's playing a bigger game. Whether it's survival, sacrifice, or destiny, let's imagine some alternate storylines. Scenario 1. The object is a blood magic relic, and Daemon uses it to survive the fall, washing ashore at the God's Eye. He returns to Rhaenyra, wielding the relic to win the war, but its dark power corrupts him, turning him into a tragic villain. Scenario 2. It's a message for Rhaenyra, but it's lost in the lake. Years later, it's found by a Stark or a Blackwood, sparking a new quest to honor Daemon's legacy, tying into a House of the Dragon spin-off. Scenario 3. It's a prophetic artifact, and Daemon's survival leads him north, where he battles early White Walkers, becoming a myth whispered to Jon Snow centuries later. Scenario 4. It's a dragon egg, hidden by Daemon in Essos, which eventually reaches Daenerys, making him the unsung hero of her rise. Each scenario reshapes House of the Dragon's narrative. A surviving Daemon with a relic could lead to a black victory, a stronger Targaryen dynasty, or a descent into darkness. A lost message could haunt Rhaenyra, driving her paranoia or inspiring her heirs. A prophetic artifact ties the show to Game of Thrones' cosmic stakes, making Daemon a pivotal figure in the fight against the Long Night. An egg connects him to Daenerys, cementing his legacy as the rogue prince who saved the dragons. And fans? They're eating this up. On X, I've seen posts speculating the object is everything from a Valyrian coin to a white-killing spear, showing how much this mystery has gripped the fandom. Why does this theory hit so hard? Because Daemon Targaryen is House of the Dragon's soul. His charisma, his flaws, his love for Rhaenyra, and his reckless courage make him unforgettable. Matt Smith's performance is a magnet, and fans want more of him.